Good morning, Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Thank you for that little introduction there. I'm all good here. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's so nice. You know, I'm actually a quarter Scottish, so I was so happy to see Scotland in the Euros and competing among the... Is that okay with you?
I didn't know you was a quarter Scottish.
Yeah, it's a surprise to us all.
Really?
Yeah, carry on, Poppy.
Okay, yeah, well, I am. So I was very happy to see you there representing your country. I mean, what was that experience like being with the national team in Germany?
Yeah, obviously it's... I think it's every footballer's biggest honour when you get to represent your national team, and especially at a major tournament. As Scotland, growing up in Scotland, we didn't have the luxury of qualifying every single tournament, and it was a long wait for us in terms of playing in a tournament away from home. So to be part of that squad that went there was obviously a really big honour. We wish we'd done better, and I think that our fans and support deserved better, but that's what tournament football is like. You're playing the best countries in Europe in this case, and there's fine margins at the side games.
Lewis, talk about the phone call you get from Steve Clark when you find out you're going to the Euros, right? Who's the first person you call? I've been in those moments where you're waiting for the selection to happen, you don't know what's going to happen, and you're kind of hoping you get that phone call. Yeah,
obviously I was actually a late call up, so the squad had really been announced and I wasn't in it, so I'd wrapped my head around that, was focusing on Red Bull, and then I think we just played the game against Orlando at home, and on the following day I was out at breakfast with my sister and my girlfriend, and had some family over, and I actually got a phone call from the performance director for Scotland, and it was just sounding me out about how I would receive the news if I was getting called up. I think we'd had a few injuries in camp, and of course when I heard there was a chance, I was all over it. So came in, trained, and then when I got in after the training session, I seen the message on my phone, and then it was just about speaking to my girlfriend, my family, and everyone, telling everyone the news. And then it was a mad rush to get out there because obviously time was of the essence at that point.
Obviously not the way it ended. I'm sure it didn't end the way you would love. But what are your thoughts about the way Scotland played in the tournament? And now that you've had a chance to sort of look at that as a whole, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the overriding emotion is that we all wish we performed better out there. I think the manager and the coaching staff done an amazing job with us in terms of setting us up. And then I think whenever you cross that white line, it's down to the players to really take ownership. And I think we all as a group just would love to have that one back and give a really good account of ourselves. We knew how tough the games were going to be, especially the opening game against Germany. And then you've got a little bit of an uphill battle to climb after that because, you know, goal difference has gone against you. And Switzerland and Hungary are two good teams. And you see, even going to the Switzerland game, it's just a moment of magic from Shaqiri, and that's the level you're at. You know, we performed so well in that game and probably feel that we should have had 3 points. And tournament football is just, it's something that I guess the group is fortunately and due to the hard work of the group have been able to qualify for the last couple of editions of the Euros, and I think that tournament experience is going to set Scotland up well for the future, and there's going to be a squad that will break through the glass ceiling and qualify out of the groups.
Lewis, moving on to the Red Bulls now, obviously on fine goal scoring form, is there a striker past or present that you've modelled your game on, or you have similar attributes to that you look to try and mirror on the football pitch?
I'm not too sure in terms of like modelling my play on it. I try and take little bits from everyone. Obviously grew up watching Thierry Henry a lot, and I'm not sitting here saying that I'm anything like him, but even closer to home, I watched clips of Bradley Wright Phillips here, and he had so much success in this league, and I'm trying to take clips of loads of different guys, and I'm always studying, I'm always watching strikers that have had success, especially in this league, and then trying to take that into my own game and picking the brains of Brad before games and seeing what he sees in the games gone by. And yeah, I'm always trying to learn, always trying to improve, and I wouldn't really say there's a striker I base my game around. I try and be myself when I'm out there, but I certainly like to watch players.
Lewis, what if I could tell you that Red Bulls will win an MLS Cup, but from now on, anytime you drink Iron Brew, it tastes like broccoli. Would you take that deal?
It tastes like what?
Broccoli.
I'd take that deal. I think they took all the sugar out of Iron Brew, so it doesn't actually taste that good anymore. I'd probably take that.
Speaking of Iron Brew, did you know that Latinos drink it? It just has a different name, so you can actually find it out here. It's called Cola Champagne.
Is that true?
It's 100% true.
Lewis, don't listen to me. It
I
doesn't
promise
taste
you,
nothing like Iron
Lewis,
Brew.
there's Latinos that work at Red Bull. Ask them for a Cola Champagne. It's exactly the same.
I'm not sure I believe that. but
Alexis, have you even had Iron Brew before?
He hasn't.
Have I had Iron Brew? You're asking the one fat guy on this desk if he's had Iron Brew.
God.
Are you out of your
that's a
mind?
yes.
Are you out of
Do you
your
like
mind?
it?
It's Latinos drink it. I drank it as a kid.
Wow, one thing that you like.
It's the same thing. It's Cola
English.
Champagne. Try it, Lewis. I'm telling you. DM me.
Hey, Lewis, before you try that, tell us a little bit about Sandro Schwarz. Obviously, for MLS fans, we didn't know much about him, and he's been able to get this group on the same page pretty quick.
He's obviously done a really good job with the squad. He's come in here, obviously, after a tough year we had last year. We didn't reach the levels we wanted to, and I think the manager's came in. He's been a breath of fresh air. He's got all the players pulling in the one direction. I think when you're at a football club, that's what goes the longest way, is when you have a group of guys that believe in the coach and believing in the staff, and everyone's pulling in the one direction. And he's got that feel-good factor about the club right now, and the fans are also buying into that and helping out as well. So it's a really good time to be part of the Red Bulls.
Lewis, I love players having personal goals. Do you have a personal goal this season that you want to reach or achieve?
Yeah, I set really lofty goals every single year. I tried to get a little bit away from it, just due to the injury last year and trying to focus on staying healthy. But every time I'm playing, at the start of the year, I wanted to be in that golden boot race. Obviously, I've got a little bit of time to catch up on now because I've just missed 4 games. So, yeah, just trying to make sure my numbers are as good as possible. I want to be competing with the best in this league, and I believe that I can do that and help the team as much as I can, because if I'm putting the ball in the back of the net, then obviously that's only a good thing for Red Bulls.
What's the magic number for goals? Come on, I know strikers can be very selfish, geezer.
Before the year, I wanted over 20, so I've still got to get it done.
I like
track.
that.
Yeah. Lewis, Iron Brew aside, obviously it's very different being in New York City, isn't it, compared to Glasgow, where I know you spent a lot of your time. How are you adjusting to being here? Do you like living in New York, and are you missing anything in particular from home? Any home comforts?
You can't say friends or family, though.
I bet you he says curry.
Curry.
Maybe affordable golf is the only thing I probably miss from Scotland, if I'm not allowed to say friends and family. I think obviously Scotland's always going to be my home, but I feel like New York feels like my home now, and I can't really see. I never wake up in New York and really miss Scotland outside of friends and family. So, yeah, I think I've really settled in here. My girlfriend's from here, and yeah, I really enjoy my life outside of football as well. And I think that always helps when you're a player, when you're settled off the field.
Tony, maybe you could take him to golf.
Yeah. What do the numbers look like, Lewis, for you, golfing?
What's my handicap?
Yeah.
I play off like a 4, so.
Oh.
I think Grella's more. Mike Grella. I'm going to hook you up with this guy named Mike Grella, who's a legend, New York Red Bull.
He's going to take your money.
The fastest goal scorer in
Leave
MLS
your wallet
history
at home,
for the Red Bull.
and you'll be okay.
Please be him, Lewis. Please
Yeah,
be him.
anyone's a member at any club, I'm always.
Perfect.
Lewis, you were in the Rangers Academy, you played for Celtic, you played at Inter Miami, now you're at Red Bull and you scored a hat trick against Miami. You seem to love playing for both sides of the rivalry, or certainly performing against a rival. Is there anything that sort of lingered when you were going to Celtic about your time at Rangers, or anything when you were at Red Bull when you played against Inter Miami? Do you have those sort of feelings at all, or you seem to go for it anyway?
Yeah, of course you have the feelings. I grew up obviously in the Rangers Academy, which is a club that I had a lot of love for. I think at that point in my career, when I was making the jump from St Mirren, it was really a career decision in terms of I was going to a massive club in Celtic, and it was in terms of for my family and for my career, it was the best step at that moment. And then in terms of Inter Miami, I've got a lot of love for that club as well. Even whenever I've scored, I've always tried to keep the celebrations pretty muted against them. They were the one that gave me the platform to come over here and perform, and just the way things worked out with the sanctions and everything that were placed in the club, that's probably what led to me leaving there. But I've always got a soft spot for them as long as their names below Red Bull on the table, I'm happy, but they can be above everyone else.
Lewis, when you made that move from Inter Miami, you immediately started scoring goals there with the Red Bulls. You became the guy that you needed to mark. How much is, and then you have the hip injury, right? And you go out for a, but it was clear that the Red Bulls needed something. They make a massive move in this offseason with Emil Forsberg coming in. How much has he opened things up for you where now whoever you're playing have another guy that they've really got to deal with?
Yeah, Emil's been massive for us. I think just coming over, bringing that experience, Champions League level player, he still is, and to play with him is every striker's dream. You know, he sees the passes, he sees that final pass. Other teams respect him, rightfully so. And obviously, I missed a lot of football last year, so I felt like I had a lot of things to make up for, a lot of time to make up for. And I think Emil coming here also felt that he had to prove himself all over again. So I think it's been a bit of a perfect storm with myself and him, and I think the rest of the squad as well have taken a step up from last year. So, like I say, and I was touching on earlier, everyone's really pulling in the one direction, and I think the players we have brought in have added to that group that we've got here, and yeah, it's a really special time to be playing here.
Lewis, just before we let you go, quick fire, whether it's internationally or domestically, what player stands out to you as the biggest personality you've had in the dressing room? What name?
Aaron Long's a pretty big personality. Yeah, I'd probably say Alo's is up there.
Nice.
Do you think your former teammates would have said you?
No, I was in the dressing room full of monsters and animals, so too many.
Oh, good to see you, Lewis. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us.
so much for having me on.
Best
All right,
of luck
guys.
for the rest of the season. We'll
Just
see you
now
soon.
when you play NYCFC.
All the best, mate. Hope you score a hat-trick against them.